Ekam is a movement in consciousness founded by Sri Preethaji and Sri Krishnaji, spread across over 100 nations of the world. This spiritual movement has led millions to a direct experience of their personal divine and the manifestation of breathtaking miracles. Seekers throng to Ekam, the mystic powerhouse at the heart of Ekam movement, to awaken from illusion, ignorance, and suffering.
Now I have a lot of ease and peace toward myself, and I feel that I'm so complete, and I start love myself, and I start connect to the people around me, the nature around me, and I start realizing I'm able to flow with the flow of life.
It felt really liberating, like I finally got through what I was like, what was making me angry or sad at my parents. I finally got through it, and it feels really good.
As an entrepreneur, what I have been looking for, or what I look for all the time, is clarity. And what's amazing about Krishnaji is that when you listen to him and you talk to him, he's got a complete blueprint of what works and what does not work. And that's what I like about his programs, that they come from a place, a knowledge, a wisdom that is does not come from books. It comes from a deep knowing.
Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityormamritam gamaya.
Every human being has one primal wish that appears as numerous other desires. You want to be happy. But it is sad that you seek this happiness in the outside without ever ridding your own consciousness of suffering, ignorance, and separation. Most people are like hungry and thirsty children who are lost and abandoned in the middle of a desert. It is this fear and unhappiness within them that makes them hurt each other. But their desert-like life is the result of the kind of consciousness with which they live and will disappear upon awakening. An unenlightened consciousness and unawakened consciousness is at the root of most problems. In an unawakened state, you continually engage in generating negative karmic actions and accumulate negative karmic balance, which result in obstacles such as relationship conflicts, breakdown of mental and physical health, or the perceived and actual economic insufficiency. It is also the collective unawakened consciousness that is at the root of most global problems of war, poverty, division, and environmental destruction. Your awakening is the only solution to stem the further birthing of problems and the dissolution of existing challenges. And the collective awakening of human consciousness is the only enduring panacea for all of world problems. That is why our single most important mission is individual enlightenment and collective awakening of humankind. We belong to Mukti Sampradaya, and it is our mission to awaken 74,000 people into Sampurna Jivan Muktas, or total liberated beings. For when 0.001% of human population is enlightened, the balance tilts in human consciousness towards compassion and oneness. This has been the mission of my parents, Shri Amma and Shri Bhagavan, and 5 generations of sages who have gone before them. And Shri Preethaji and I intend to fulfill this sacred mission of great liberation of humanity in our own lifetimes. Scores of people around you are already stepping into this realm of enlightenment, and we invite you to join this magnificent movement in consciousness.
I experience this flow now, and it's in my body, and it's so incredibly awesome. It's like this beautiful current of universal life force. That's who I really am. I'm so very appreciative of Krishnaji and Preethaji for the beautiful teachings, their processes, and the Limitless Field meditations. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And suffering, I thought it will bring me attention from other people. Yeah, and now I understood that it's not about the attention, it's not about the superiority, it's all about the connection and this state which helps you to connect to the people that I was totally disconnected. I'm really appreciative for this. Thank you so much.
Every night now I am laying in a state of bliss consciousness that pervades my whole physical being. All through the evening I have deep states of silence that abide during the day. It's not like just having this and then it's stopping.
Shatamanam bhavati shatayu purusha shatindriya ayusha vindriya pratitishtati. 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 प्रतितिष्ठति
आरोग्यवान् भव सौभाग्यवान् भव यशस्वी भव आयुष्यवान् भव आरोग्यवान् भव
शतमानं भवति शतयु पुरुषशतेन्द्रिय आयुष्येन्द्रिय प्रतितिष्ठति
आयुष्यवान् भव आरोग्यवान् भव
शतमानं भवति शतयु पुरुषशतेन्द्रिय आयुष्येन्द्रिय प्रतितिष्ठति
आरोग्यवान् भव
शतमानं भवति शतयु पुरुषशतेन्द्रिय आयुष्येन्द्रिय प्रतितिष्ठति
आयुष्यवान् भव आरोग्यवान् भव
शतमानं भवति शतयु पुरुषशतेन्द्रिय आयुष्येन्द्रिय प्रतितिष्ठति
आयुष्यवान् भव
शतमानं भवति शतयु पुरुषशतेन्द्रिय आयुष्येन्द्रिय प्रतितिष्ठति
आयुष्यवान् भव आरोग्यवान् भव
शतमानं भवति शतयु पुरुषशतेन्द्रिय आयुष्येन्द्रिय प्रतितिष्ठति
आयुष्यवान् भव
शतमानं भवति शतयु पुरुषशतेन्द्रिय आयुष्येन्द्रिय प्रतितिष्ठति
आयुष्यवान् भव
शतमानं भवति
Shri Preethaji and Shri Krishnaji are mystics, philosophers, and enlightened masters of our times. They are known for their original teachings, meditation practices, and mystic processes that have helped millions in India and many nations of the world, leading them to mental health, emotional wellness, and enlightenment. They're renowned for their global peace efforts through the Ekam World Peace Festival, a meditation festival that has millions participating from over 100 nations of the world. Their purpose is to awaken human consciousness from agitation to peace, separation to connection, and division to oneness. In 2002, Shri Krishnaji undertook the mammoth project of creating the gigantic architectural marvel of Ekam, World Center for Enlightenment, and completed it in 2008 for awakening humanity's consciousness. Ekam is a sacred pillarless structure built of marble to accommodate 8,000 seekers in a state of meditation. It's a mystic powerhouse that has been created with a vision to bring world peace and enlightenment. They co-authored the US best-selling book, The 4 Sacred Secrets, in 2018. Shri Preethaji has also created Oneness Yoga, an integration of 5 forms of yoga to help the world realize the true spirit of yoga. She travels to the USA, Europe, Australia, Latin America, Japan, South Korea, China every year, offering her 4-day signature program called the Field of Awakening. She also offers her 3-day spiritual program, Bodhi, in major cities of India. Shri Preethaji has addressed prestigious gatherings of conscious world leaders on different platforms like the Worldwide Meeting on Human Values in Mexico, at the WME-IMG Annual Summit for its several thousands of executives and top management, at FIESP, the Federation of Industries Sao Paulo, at Fudan University, at the China-Europe International Business School, at the world preeminent IDS Festival, the flagship summit at Los Angeles, at TEDx Kansas City on living free of stress, at TEDx Shanghai on discovering a purpose, and many more. Shri Preethaji's TEDx talk from Kansas City has been viewed by millions. Shri Preethaji has been interviewed on prestigious online platforms such as Goop, Murray Forleo, and One Commune. Shri Krishnaji and Shri Preethaji have together been covered in magazines including Forbes, Inc., Authority, and the Huffington Post. Shri Krishnaji's most unique contribution to the world is the creation of the Ekam World Peace Festival to tilt the balance of world consciousness away from violence towards peace. The annual Ekam World Peace Festival, created in the year 2018, has acquired a life of its own and has grown for the past 4 years. In 2021, 30 million peace meditators across the world joined hands in the peace efforts. 186,000 peacemakers held peace points in various nations. These peace points were held in schools, colleges, universities, homes, libraries, public spaces, gardens, and places of worship. 2,243 organizations joined in the peace meditations with their employees. 1,443 villages of India meditated those 3 days, lighting peace flames in their homes. Hundreds of media partners came together to spread peace. Ekam World Peace Festival has led to a very profound transformation in young people, in families, and in the entire culture of organizations. After more than 50 years of civil war and millions of victims, and a 3-year-old peace treaty that had polarized Colombia, influential leaders of Colombian society joined for 3 days in the mountain ranges of Colombia under the guidance of Shri Preethaji to awaken to peace. This event was the setting for something never attempted before. A group of top leaders in their diverse fields, musicians, culture, social ancestral leaders, businessmen, representatives of victims, members of the Truth Commission, and members of civil society, as well as demobilized guerrillas and paramilitary and retired generals gathered in the event Peace in Your Eyes to understand and give a chance to reconciliation. She led every one of those leaders into responsibility for future generations and compassion towards each other and their fellow countrymen and women. Ekam is also engaged in building Hindu temples in the villages around that have been marginalized for centuries because of the caste into which they were born. This has led to greater self-respect and rootedness in their own culture. As a family, Shri Preethaji and Shri Krishnaji and their daughter Loka created Loka Foundation. This foundation is enriching the lives of youth globally and 1,000 villages around Ekam. The youth programs have impacted the lives of more than 500,000 students in India and the world. The foundation works with several colleges and schools of India to nurture young people into conscious leaders and change makers in the world. Loka Foundation provides clean drinking water facilities in these 1,000 villages. This drinking water project, costing several crores of rupees, has been a boon of health to women and children of these villages who were cooking earlier with hard water. It has prevented kidney problems in children and avoided many disasters for pregnant women. Loka Foundation is involved in creating forests in barren lands to counter climate change. The foundation does not encourage monoculture. It is encouraging the creation of forest ecosystems in barren lands. It has inspired many volunteers throughout India to follow its example. Loka Foundation led the Bless India initiative when India was reeling under the second wave of COVID, and has offered more than 50,000 COVID safety kits to people who were tested COVID positive among local villagers, military personnel, press, and hospitals. The world is certainly a more peaceful place because of their presence in it.
I am you and you are me. We're the water and the trees. Hare, hare, hare. We're the sunshine in the sky, the creation and the life, all together as one. Hamza Soham, Hamza Soham, Hamza Soham Ekam. Hamza Soham, Hamza Soham, Hamza Soham Hamza Soham, Hamza Soham Ekam. Hamza Soham, Hamza Soham, Hamza Soham Ekam. Hamza Soham, Hamza Soham, Hamza Soham Ekam. Hamza Soham, Hamza Soham, Hamza Soham Ekam.
The truth is one. The wise perceive it in many ways. Cosmic reality is one. Every perception of reality is wise. All perceptions of the one reality are wise. So why conflict at all?
Ekam sat vibrahat, bahuta vadanti. Ekam sat vibrahat, bahuta vadanti. Oh, oh, oh.
Namaste. Welcome to the Global Limitless Field Meditation with Sri Krishnaji. We are connecting from Ekam, the World Center for Enlightenment. I am Purnima, a disciple of Sri Preethaji and Sri Krishnaji. Today I'll be supporting you in the Limitless Field experience. Let us participate with total attention and dedication to immerse in beautiful spiritual experiences of profound peace, joy, love, and divine connection. It is now time to be in the presence of Sri Krishnaji. Let us welcome Sri Krishnaji joyfully to lead us forward.
Namaste. How are you? We meet again in the Limitless Field meditation today. This gathering in the Limitless Field is an important part in your own awakening and in the collective awakening of humanity. Do we have any questions for today?
Pranam Sri Krishnaji. We have selected a couple of questions for today. Here is the first question. Namaste Sri Krishnaji. I am burnt out and depressed. Hence, it is difficult for me to be present to people, to my work, and to my situations. What should I do? I hear that enlightenment is about being present. How can someone like me experience enlightened state of being present to the moment?
Let me clear this misunderstanding about being in the present. Many people imagine being present means not being able to engage in a past memory or future planning. They have the funny image of only being in the present all the time. How can such a person ever set a goal or move towards success, isn't it? While it is possible to be in the present in heightened enlightened states for brief periods of time, know that even an enlightened person is capable of processing the past and the future. The only difference is that it is not a compulsive movement. The ordinary mind is compulsive, helplessly pulled into the past and pushed into the future. In fact, your problem of depression and feeling of being burnt out also lies in this disease of the mind. When you are not able to savor life, you will naturally be depressed. When you are not able to be connected to people, you will naturally feel depressed. Only when you're present, know that you live life. When you are not able to be present to your morning cup of coffee, it is just a cup of bitter hot water with some aroma, isn't it? But when you're present to your cup of coffee, it is heaven. Understand, the more you're absent to every experience, you will naturally move into depression because the very joy of living is lost. That is why you must definitely set out on the path of enlightenment. And the time to do that is now. Coming to your next problem, which is the feeling of being burnt out. If your education has burnt you out, or your career has burnt you out, or your relationship has burnt you out, it means you have not discovered your purpose, or you have lost your purpose. You have yet another journey to set out on, which is to discover your true purpose in life. I am glad you are at least conscious of your suffering. But many people that I have met, when they listen to my teaching on suffering, they immediately say, I do not have any suffering. But a day into the journey, their answer becomes totally different. It is not that they are lying. They have been believing that suffering is the natural way to live. To live worrying about the future, to live brooding over the past, to keep moving from one unpleasant emotion to another, to succeed through driving oneself with comparison and aggression, to live with the deafening mind chatter every wakeful moment. This is the only way you know to live. You are like the character in the story of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, the fish seller who found it impossible to fall asleep in her friend's house because her friend is a flower seller and her house was filled with the sweet fragrance of flowers, and she could not sleep. Hence, she had to put her fish basket close to her face and inhale the familiar smell of fish to fall asleep. You have to wake up to this realization that anxiety, stress, depression, anger, jealousy, loneliness, all these are the suffering states you have most often lived from. You have become so habituated to being in these miserable states that you have made them your home. The universe has taken 13.8 billion years to evolve and create us. You are the result of 13.8 billion years of evolution of the universe. It is such immense intelligence that has gone into making this human species. That is why we decided to call ourselves Homo sapiens, meaning the wise ones. But is there any wisdom in the way you live your lives? The universe has given you all the necessary potential to live life free of suffering, to live life being present to every experience, to feel joyful every moment. You have to become enlightened to live this way.
Thank you so much, Sri Krishnaji. This is the second question. Namaste, Sri Krishnaji. As a parent, what shall I teach my child? To be careful and not to be gullible in a world that is so bad? Or should I teach my child to be compassionate and kind?
Why do you want to preach anything to your child? It's an important question. Most parents assume that their role is to be moral preachers to their children, to go on lecturing to them on what they should do or not do, what they should be or not be. But is your child willing to accept you as their preacher or teacher? No. Children have extraordinary intelligence. They see you deeply. If they see that you are selfish, if they see you are miserable and you misunderstand each other, they will see that your compassion is only either an advice or an ideology. Remember, your children absorb your state more than following your advice. The question is simple. What is your inner state? I have always said there are only two states in which you can live. Either suffering or no suffering. What do you choose? Would you choose to be in fear and anger for the world and live with dead heart? Or would you conquer your suffering, heal your hurts, and move towards enlightenment? Because enlightenment is to be untouched and unaffected by the sorrows of the world and the trivials of life. Such an enlightened being is naturally compassionate. Such an enlightened parent is the greatest positive influence on one's children and society. Let me share with you a realization shared by a mother who was in Ekam tapas. She had come to Ekam with a little child to undergo her enlightenment journey along with a family and caretaker. During the breaks, she would sit silently with him, holding him or playing with him. And when people passed by, they would call out his name or wave or wait for the child to turn and look at them. There were times when the little one giggled or smiled or waved, but there were times when he was indifferent and totally engaged with something else. This would agitate the mother whenever the child was indifferent and was engaged with something else. Many times she tried making him wave or turn his attention to them. One day, as she was sitting in meditation, this image kept coming in front of her eyes. Her many moments of struggle to make her boy please everyone. She began observing what was she trying to do. She realized she was trying to condition him to be a good boy whom everyone will accept and appreciate. And then suddenly came the realization. She realized that she was exactly doing to her son what she has done to herself. She had lived her entire life in anxiety of what others think of her. And it is the same anxiety that is making her condition her son to be pleasing to others. That is now in the present. She clearly saw her suffering states are causing her to be insensitive to her child. She realized that he is free within. He is not trying to please anyone. He is enjoying the breeze, the butterflies, the dragonflies, the garden, everything else around. He is just enjoying the moment. In that moment, she became free of her anxiety around her son. When she had this deep realization, the inner freedom began in her. Her inner freedom is the greatest gift she has given to her son. Imagine the future of this child. How his future would be when he is growing up with a mother and a father who are both living enlightened lives, free of suffering, peaceful, joyful, and connected with each other. Your enlightenment is the greatest gift you can give your children, not your advisors, not your values. It is your state. That's the most important thing.
Thank you so much, Shri Krishnaji.
I would now love to talk to you all about the upcoming Ekam World Peace Festival in September. Peace is either for all of us or for none of us. Even if one person in a family is not peaceful, it hurts all of us. Even if one community in our nation is not in harmony, it affects the fabric of harmony for the entire nation. Even if one species on earth is threatened to extinction, it affects the entire web of life, for we are all interconnected. What would you like to do to make this peace happen? Would you join us if we showed you a way to contribute to the peace of all living beings? Shri Preethaji and I launched the Ekam World Peace Festival in the year 2018. Our vision of world peace is peace for all living beings, not only for humanity. To us, peace goes much beyond social activism. It goes beyond politics and policies. It is an awakening to a state of peace that must happen in every one of your hearts. And this state of peace must flow from you to your family members, co-workers, friends, community, and all life forms. Humanity has, for several centuries, made peace into a social movement where we gathered and spoke about peace. In times of crisis, peace has taken the form of activism and social revolution. And peace meant overthrowing an existing system and replacing it with a new system. Centuries have passed and thousands of movements have come and gone. But the world has not become peaceful still. That is why we say, unless and until your state within transforms to being peaceful, peace in the world is an impossibility. This is no exaggeration. This is the truth. Peace is born when the divisive mind working within you is silenced. You are no longer dividing yourself on the basis of your mutual superficial differences. I am this and the other is that. I belong to this and the other belongs to that. You divide yourself from the other based on physical factors like nationality, culture, race, status, position, or ideological factors like religion, belief systems, the different isms that you follow, or based on ideas projected by your mind as right and wrong, good and bad, should be and should not be. When you are free of all these forms of divisive tendencies in your mind, you become awakened to peace consciousness. Your words and actions emerging from this non-divisive state of peace nurtures every person who comes in touch with you. You heal them. You make them feel whole and complete in themselves. You transform them into a peaceful being. You become an oasis of peace that nurtures people and life around you. This is the kind of world peace that Shri Preethaji and I envision for humanity. When large populations of people experience this peace within them and live from this state, they would contribute to world peace. And this peace would be enduring. It would pass on from one generation to the next. A leader of organization, a political leader, an educator, medical professional, a social reformer, a parent, a student, whoever you may be. You can contribute to world peace from where you are by becoming a peacemaker and participating in the Ekam World Peace Festival. The festival would last for 14 days from September 4th to September 17th, during which peacemakers across the world will be taking the Ekam World Peace Festival events to various communities, educational institutions, clubs, jails, organizations, and other groups, where they will come together to open their consciousness to the experience of peace through insight and meditation. We will be meditating on peace between nations, peace for young people, peace for Mother Earth. Ekam peacemakers all over the world will lead peace soul sync meditations, where they will hold an intention for individual and world peace. On the 18th of September, we will be celebrating the culmination of the festival as the Ekam World Peace Day. On that day, Shri Preethaji and I will connect you live from Ekam to bring you the sacred energies and blessings of Ekam. Ekam World Peace Day is a phenomenon. Millions of peacemakers from around the world holding peace energy points, gathering together as families, groups, and communities will join us in a special peace meditation to impact the collective consciousness of humanity. Can you imagine the power we will all be generating together with such a powerful collective peace meditation? The peace energy points that are held by peacemakers are like satellite ships that are connected to the mothership, which is Ekam. As we meditate together, we would infuse the collective consciousness of humanity with a state of peace. The impact of our collective meditation will move the needle in humanity's collective consciousness towards greater non-violence, compassion, and peace. We invite all of you to take part in the Ekam World Peace Festival from September 4th onwards and join us as an Ekam peacemaker along with your soul circle to meditate on the Ekam World Peace Day on the 18th of September for an hour and contribute to world peace. To contribute to peace for all living beings is our greatest dharma as human beings. For a long time, humanity has been part of the problem. It is time we become part of the solution. Join us in this noble peace mission.
In a few minutes from now, we will be in Sri Krishnaji's presence to meditate and immerse in blessings. Entering the limitless field is entering the field of the divine. Hence, we request you to kindly put your mobile phones on silence. Please do not engage in any other activity now. Silence and stillness are very important to have a profound experience in the limitless field. You may now sit with your spine erect, either on a chair or on the cushions upon the floor. Please do not move around. Rest your hands upon your thighs with palms facing upwards. Let the tips of your index fingers touch the tips of your thumbs. Breathe slowly and deeply into your chest. You may have your eyes open. Gently close your eyes. Join your palms at your heart in prayer. Let us now immerse and repeat the Ekam mantra, Hamsa Soham Ekam. Chanting this mantra opens your heart to the blessings of the divine.
Hamsa Sohamekam, 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 Hamsa Sohamekam.
Gently relax your hands. Shri Krishnaji will now be holding an intention for every one of us to have a glimpse of the enlightened state of great inner silence. This silence is not the absence of noise. It is where your chattering mind has fallen silent, and there is a deep stillness at the backdrop of every experience. This inner silence is undisturbed by the chaos of the external world. It is there in moments of intense activity as well as in moments of total inaction. Open your heart and ask for this experience of great silence to fill you. Bring your attention to your eyebrow center. Stay still. Shri Krishnaji will now lead you deeper into the limitless field, opening your consciousness to the state of great inner silence. Your mystic journey with Shri Preethaji for the month of August will be manifest chakra potential manifest divine experiences. This manifest journey would happen on the 14th of August. For all international seekers from the East, your manifest would happen from 6:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. IST. For all international seekers from the West, your manifest would happen from 9:30 p.m. to 1 a.m. IST. And for all Indian seekers, your manifest would happen at 5 p.m. and would happen till 8:30 p.m. IST. May the blessings of the Divine be with you. Namaste.
आरोहणम्